What is up, everybody? Good evening. It is Saturday, April 15th, 8 p.m. here in beautiful Corvallis, Oregon. You're here with your host, Mateo Olmos, Young Mo, for another installment of 10 Minutes with Teo, episode 8. I'm going to get right into it, man, since we only have 10 minutes today or tonight. I'm going to be talking about my journey to winning a Pac 12 title. But deeper than that, I want to talk about being persistent towards your goals, being persistent in the journey towards your goals, being resilient in the face of opposition, obstacles, trials, and tribulations, and being patient with yourself, with God, and with life as you take the journey. I want to talk about my journey from going from a fourth place finisher in 2018-2019 season, the 2018-2019 season, to first place in the 2022-2023 season. You might not even be able to see that, but that's okay. Just to have a little bit of physical evidence of what I'm going to be talking about. Um, Trials and tribulations, obstacles, something that I've been experiencing since I was a youth. I don't want to go too much in detail or too much in depth about, the different obstacles that were put in my way or different people who tried to derail me or um, impose their will on my journey as adults, when I was in high school, when I was a youth. But I will say that I experienced some great obstacles. I lost a year of eligibility my junior year when I transferred from my previous school, Mar Vista, to Mater Dei Catholic. I was going in my junior year, ranked number 5 in the state. Had a great preseason, won some big tournaments, beat state placers, beat state ranked guys, nationally ranked guys. Lost that year of eligibility my junior year. Had to wrestle or trained all year. Despite when I didn't want to, my coaches made me train. I'd cry all the time. I cried my eyes out. I mean, night after night, kicked and screamed. Finally ended up becoming a All-American at the national tournaments at the end of the year, Flow Nationals, NHSCA, went to Reno Worlds, went to some other tournaments. So I was still getting recognized by colleges. Prior to that, coming out of Mar Vista, which is in Imperial Beach, California, and South San Diego, not an easy place to come out of. I mean, no blueprint for me in terms of how to make it, how to do this. I went into, my freshman year class with a bunch of guys who were very athletic, very talented. We were all seemed to be on the same guided direction. My dad was a teacher at the school. My dad had coached wrestling previously, which is how I got into wrestling. He started the wrestling youth program there when I was a kid, so I could get into wrestling. But there's no collegiate wrestling nearby. My school had not had any state placers ever, any state champions, nothing like that. So no blueprint in that regard. Went in, freshman class with a bunch of talented guys in athletics. I played football and ran track, and then I started seeing my friends go different directions. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a Division I wrestler, get a scholarship. That was an obstacle in and of itself. Felt very alone. Transferred, lost that year of eligibility. Senior year comes around, had a great season. Going into the state tournament with a tore my meniscus, bucket handle tear in the quarterfinals at the Masters tournament. Ended up winning the Masters tournament, which is like our regionals for those of you who aren't from California. Went to state as the 4th seed, lost in the semis to the 1 seed from Buchanan. Took third, ended up taking third at the state. Got surgery after my senior year that summer. Came into Oregon State with a bum knee, healed up, redshirt year, then redshirt freshman year started. Ended up going to the Pac-12 tournament for the first time, fresh. Like I said, had no blueprint as to how to compete at the highest level, which is Division I. Had nobody really ever who had came before me and taught me about that. Had great coaches, had coaches with certain accolades that helped me achieve as I continue to progress, but had nobody necessarily who knew how to compete at the Division 1 level, at the highest level. Nobody who had ever qualified for the Division 1 NCAA championships. Came in fresh, first Pac-12 tournament, went in as the second seed. Ended up losing in the semis to a guy from Bakersfield who I had beat during the season. Win my next match, go for third and fourth. I get pinned by the Stanford kid. Take fourth. Redshirt freshman year, took fourth. As you can see, there's no other trophies in between fourth and first. That is because I didn't get a trophy. I believe they only give top four. I took fifth, and there was no other placings in between that. I lost in the semis every year after that, all the way up until this year. Last year, my junior year, had a breakout season. My best season since being at Oregon State. Nationally ranked all year. Beat a bunch of nationally ranked guys. Beat a bunch of NCAA qualifiers, which I had done in the past, but I mean, just consistently. I was in the rankings all year. I won every Pac-12 duel. I go into the Pac-12 tournament, seeded second. The number one seed is a guy who I've already beat, and I didn't wrestle in the duel that year because he just didn't wrestle in the duel. So projected to really win it. Going in as the second seed, had a bid to go to nationals. Was feeling good. The night before, I get nervous. I don't sleep. Had a lot going on in my life. Had a lot of pressure on me. Had a great season. I go into the Pac-12 tournament, lose in the semis again to Stanford kid Tyler Ishins, who I had beat twice during the season. Lose again to Little Rock guy who I beat during the season. End up taking fifth again. Heartbroken, whatever you want to call it, if you're a wrestler, if you're an athlete, took a L in front of everybody. Family was there to watch. Really, that was really the last time my dad ever got to see me wrestle, so took a L in front of him. Come back the next season. A whole, to think about a year later, it's like, wow, like, okay, so much can happen in a year. Is this really possible? My whole team went to the NCAA tournament. I was the only one who didn't qualify. We had 4 All-Americans. I'm watching from home. I'm just heartbroken, depressed. Anyways, go through a whole another year. I had to fight just to get back on the team because I had gone through mental health, physical health issues. I'm like, I'll be happy if I can just win a match in this senior season. If I can just make the lineup. The day before the wrestle off, I text Coach Roden and I say, hey, I don't think I'm going to do this. I'm going to pack my bags, go home. He says, stick around. I think you have the opportunity to do something special. I stick around. I win the wrestle off. I start a great season. Place at CKLV, whatever. Anyways, fast forward. I go into the Pac-12 tournament again this year. I go in as the number one seed. I'm scared out of my mind. I don't sleep for 4 days straight. This last March, just not too long ago. I didn't sleep for 4 days straight. I'm scared I'm going to lose in the semis again. Same story, doubting myself. Didn't sleep, up all night, losing my mind, feeling like I'm crapping this away. I'm so grateful I have amazing coaches and teammates who continued to support me despite I was going through the worst trials. But I didn't sleep. I was losing my mind. But I just found a way to stay focused. I lost my dad this year. I've gone through everything you can think of. I was in the hospital all spring and summer trying to find out what's going on with my body. I was depressed. I was anxious, out of my mind. Didn't sleep for 4 days, but I found a way to focus. I found a way to give my all despite what was going on. I went in there, trained the night before. We're cutting weight. I see my opponents in their training. We're at Stanford. I just put my game face on. I continue to work hard and make it seem as if nothing was wrong. Long story short, I go out there, I win the Pac-12 title. I beat the guy who had lost the year prior in the semis from Stanford, who won that Pac-12 title that year, my junior year. This year, I come out, I take a dub at Stanford in his house. And all I gotta say is thank you to God for that, and thank you to everyone who supported me. But I'm proud of myself for putting myself out on the line yet again, despite so many failures in the past, despite not having a blueprint, despite not knowing what the outcome is going to be, but still putting yourself on the line because that's what life is all about. The man in the arena. They say boats and harbors are safe, but that's not what boats are built for. They're built to go in open oceans, and the seas might get rough, but you may find a new destination that is beautiful, that is what you've been searching for all along. And it's just a small stepping stone. The victory of winning a trophy is not everything. It was being the best I could be in and and representing something bigger than me. So put yourself out on the line every time. Thank you.